One of my viewers asked me about this painting. While I have been known to make art, drawings, and paintings in a variety of media, I didn't paint this one, but I have it because of an artwork I did. Grab you a coffee or a cup of tea, maybe a cookie or two, settle in, and I'll tell you about it. I've always been interested in art. Both my grandmothers taught school at some point in their lives, and both encouraged me and supported me to make art by providing supplies and access to classes that I probably wouldn't have been able to attend without their help. Somewhere along the late 1980s and into the 1990s, I learned about some art associations in Oklahoma City. There was Golly, it's been a while. I hope I can remember it right. But there was the South Oklahoma City Art Association, and I believe the other one was called Central Oklahoma Art Guild. Oklahoma Art Guild, that's what it was. Oklahoma Art Guild. Looks like the Oklahoma Art Guild is still a thing, and I'm very happy about that, but I couldn't find anything about South Oklahoma City Art Association, so I don't know if they're still meeting or meeting under a different name or what. At the time, they both met on a monthly basis, fortunately on different nights, so I could go to both of them. They'd have guest artists come talk at the meetings, and we could find out about art shows and so on. Lovely group of artists helping other artists was a beautiful thing. I remember the art guild meetings. Artists were encouraged to bring a work, and other members in attendance would vote their favorite, and then the guest artists would also vote their favorite. So there was a member's choice ribbon and a judge's choice ribbon at each meeting. We'll come back to that. I got to meet a lot of lovely people and excellent artists. In addition, I was contacted by the chairman of a community theater, Carpenter Square Theater, there in Oklahoma City. At the time, they were in a building that had been a store of some sort decades earlier, like a department store, if I remember correctly. One of the gentle souled creative minds on the board of directors wanted to have an art gallery where local artists could exhibit on a rotating basis. And somehow they were directed to me, asked me to serve as the gallery coordinator. I would ask people from those art associations to hang some art if they wanted to, and if we sold anything, a percentage would go to the gallery. That was a lot of fun because I got to see art that my active artist friends were making, and they got to exhibit, and they didn't have to set up one day, babysit their work, and then break down the next day the way it is at so many art festival type venues. It was all quite informal. I have no kind of gallery training, I just knew people. I have fond memories of all my artist friends, and now we're going to talk about Tony Trammell, the artist who painted this painting. One of the shows we did at Carpenter Square, I asked Tony if he'd like to hang some work there, and of course he did. He was mostly doing some science fiction and fantasy illustration type paintings. He brought a painting with turning leaves at night. I was just fascinated. I mean, all his work was amazing, but turning leaves at night, similar to this one. Now, file that information away. We're going to come back to it in a minute. A little bit later, we were both exhibiting at a mall show where artists and craftspeople would bring their works, set up, exhibit, and sell. Tony was there with his paintings, and I was there with mine. And on Saturday afternoon of that show, his wife and daughter came to sit with him. Now, his daughter got a little restless. Seems like she was about 4 or 5, maybe. And he picked her up, and they walked around the show to see everybody and their work. One of the artists had made her a little beaded bracelet, and she was wearing that. She was so pleased and proud of her new bracelet. Cute little thing. I took a picture of her showing me her bracelet. The way that mall was, in the atrium there was a strong but diffuse light coming in from the skylight, which lit her up really well. And Tony was behind her, more in shadow. When I got the pictures developed, he was almost invisible. The shadow seemed so much darker. But there she was, happy to show me her new bracelet. I thought, gee, this would sure make a sweet painting, and I got started on it right away. Got it roughed in, started laying in the color the way I do. But I began to have a little trouble with the details around her face and her hand. There was quite a bit of foreshortening of her hand, and I thought, maybe I need to do a steady drawing to get that foreshortening right. It was also about this time that I was practicing kind of a mindset that if I'm doing a drawing, even if it's a study drawing or a practice drawing, go ahead and draw it out as if it's going to be a finished piece. Use quality materials, give it my best shot. I think my idea was that if my practice was sloppy, my finished work would be too. I was already struggling with a difficult passage in that painting. I wanted an excellent result, so I would make an excellent practice. And so it is that I began the study drawing on high quality cotton rag paper using my best graphite pencils of this little angel holding her hand up to show me her new bracelet. Since it was to be a study drawing, I focused on the parts that I had been struggling with in the painting, which was her foreshortened hand and her face behind it. I got to a point in that drawing that it struck me, oh, this is the one, this is the one. And I got it to a stopping point, cut a mat for it, framed it up first class. I couldn't wait to take it to the next art guild meeting. And I did. We all brought our artworks in and stood them up around the tables. The guest artists spoke, ribbons were given out, and then we got to tell a little bit about our paintings, or drawings in this case. I don't even remember if I got a ribbon for that one, but my intention was to give it to Tony, and I nearly had to chase him down to do it. He said, "Oh, I'd love to have it, but I can't afford that." I said, "Oh, yes, you can." I know exactly what I want. I want to trade art for art. He wasn't expecting that. "Remember when you exhibited at Carpenter Square?" I asked him. Oh, yeah, of course he remembered that. I said, "You had a painting there of turning leaves at night, and I love that piece." He said, "Oh, man, I have long since sold that painting." And I said, "I'm sure you have, but I'm also sure you still know how to paint turning leaves at night." Yeah, and that is how I come to have this delightful original acrylic painting of turning leaves at night. He added the butterfly fairy just for me. Mr. Bowers is also an admirer of Tony Trammell's work, and we have a print of one of his larger paintings. Of course, that's been 26 years ago. I lost track of all those artist friends a few major life changes ago. I don't know if Tony's still painting, or golly, if he's even still alive. I hope so. I think he's somewhere around my age. Anyway, that's the story of this painting with the turning leaves at night and the butterfly winged fairy. Thanks for watching.